Southern 7 Health Department and Head Start, making a difference in your community, one family at a time.
Welcome back to the Southern 7 podcast. I'm Shawnna Ryan, and joining me today is Bobi Cavins and Mary Livesey, both with Southern 7 Health Department, just like me. And we're going to be talking today about the WOW van. And ladies, first off, before we start talking about the van and all of its little excursions and journeys, let's start by introducing yourself. Mary, let's start with you.
Hi, I'm Mary Livesey. I'm a registered nurse here at Southern 7, and I work pretty much in all of the clinics. I'm a float nurse for them on the public health side.
You're a very busy lady.
Very busy.
Floating is a very loose term. She's all over the place.
All over the place.
All over. Bobi, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Bobi Cavins. I'm the Emergency Preparedness Coordinator for Southern 7 Health Department and also the MRC Coordinator.
All right. Ladies, thank you so much for sitting down. We've been trying to do this for a while, but the WOW van is really busy. It's been on the road, and like you both just said, you wear a lot of different hats, as a lot of us do here at the department. But, let's just go ahead and hop right into it. What is the WOW van? And what is that? Does that stand for something? What are we looking at?
WOW, W-O-W, is an acronym for Wellness on Wheels. The WOW van is a 40-foot mobile unit that's set up as a clinic on wheels. It's about the size of a 40-foot camper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty big. And recently we got it wrapped.
Yeah.
So it looks different. You might notice it looks a little different if you're out in the community. So
Sure.
now how did Southern 7 come to use that? How did that get to be home for us?
Well, the department applied for a grant through Illinois Department of Public Health Center for Minority Health Services in order to use the WOW van to provide clinic services in our rural southernmost 7 counties that we serve.
Okay.
So we applied for a grant.
Okay. So is the van something that floats throughout the state? I mean, we're using it right now. Do other health departments use it? How's that work?
I believe there's 7 in
Okay.
the state of Illinois, and this one is down here in our bottom of the state, and it's housed at SIH in Murfreesboro, actually at the airport. And it is used not only by us, but by other health departments, dentists, doctors, clinics, different people are using it, and it's borrowed out, by many people,
Right.
many different organizations. I think it's going to the DuQuoin Fair.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it goes all over the place.
Okay, so does it just go out into rural type communities like ours? I mean, for us, we take it out into community because we're trying to reach people that may have a hard time getting, access to certain health care.
Right.
But it's going to DuQuoin, which is, a city.
Right.
So it's not just for rural, correct?
Right. It's going to the state fair.
Okay.
So like we're trying to go to different festivals and things in our area. It's going to bigger venues as well.
Okay. Okay, great. Now, who does the WOW van support and who it serves? I think they've kind of started on that a little bit. Are we looking at a certain population of people? Can anybody use the services? Tell us about that.
I think what it's trying to serve is our rural communities. It goes out there into probably the places that don't really have access to health care as easily as like the bigger cities and everything that you're talking about. They also show a lot of services and whatnot that some people didn't even know Southern 7 offered.
Yeah, there's a lot of things on there, and we talk about us living in a food desert and working in a food desert down here. We also, in my mind, have a health desert, where a lot of the people that live in our region have to travel 25, 30 or more miles just for basic health care, just to get their blood pressure checked or what have you. So it's not only serving, a certain income of a population, it's serving anybody that needs it, right?
Exactly. Anybody can come and take advantage of the services provided.
Okay, good. Mary, what are some of the services that are provided on the WOW van, since you're actually the nurse that's on the van each week?
Yeah, so some of the free services that are offered, we do Narcan training, which Narcan is like a nasal spray to help with overdose. And a lot of times people think that it's just for like people who do drugs and whatnot who have overdoses. But you could also use it even on children who've gotten into like maybe your medication cabinet and had an overdose as well. You don't have to use it just on people who have done drugs and have overdosed. We also offer like fit testing and blood pressure screens, COVID shots. We do hand out like COVID test kits and whatnot, so you can test yourself at home before maybe making that call to the doctor if need be. Medicine disposal packets. Not really supposed to take your medication and just throw it in the trash. So this is a little packet you can put in your medicine bottle along with some water and shake it up, and it'll dissolve that medication for you before throwing it away. Some of the charge services we offer are like STD testing, pregnancy testing, cholesterol screens. We also offer flu shots when it's flu shot season, and also Tdap for adults. We also offer the blood lead screens, the hemoglobin screens, and the TB screens, which is needed for a lot of preschoolers, children going into daycare, even children going into Head Start, children going into kindergarten who haven't had a blood lead before. I think that a lot of parents didn't know that we also offer that as well, for the lead screening and the hemoglobin and the TB skin test getting ready for school.
Now, we did have questions at the beginning, people asking, are you doing physicals, sports physicals and all of that? That's not something we offer. And we don't do that anyway through the health department.
Right. We don't offer sports physicals or school physicals through the health department. We're not equipped with the resources for that as far as like a doctor or a nurse practitioner or a PA.
Okay. Now, in the beginning, we had to use the disaster van through the state. And so some of the services we weren't able to provide. Are we now able to provide all of these? Do we have everything that we need to do that at this point?
Yes, ma'am. We've got our WOW van back. Now that it's been wrapped and looking beautiful, we can now, the main test we couldn't provide is some of the STD testing that required a bathroom, as well as the pregnancy testing. But we can, now that we got our WOW van back, we can now offer those services to the public.
Wonderful. And when you come out and see the WOW van, we have a nice little board there that tells you exactly what services we're providing that day. Because it does kind of change depending upon equipment and things of that nature. So, it's best to check with Mary or Bobby when you come out to the van. Make sure that the service you're needing is something that is available. So we'll make sure that's done too. Now, you brought up something the other day, Mary, when we were at one of our sites, and we were talking about TB tests, because TB skin test is something that you do. But there's one day of the week you don't do TB tests, is that right?
Thursdays.
Why is that?
There's no nurse, because since we're not open 7 days a week, we're not open on Saturdays and Sundays. Those have to be read within 48 to 72 hours. So if you do them on a Thursday, we don't have anyone to read them like on a Saturday or a Sunday, since the clinic is closed.
Okay, so that's either whether on the WOW van or at one of the clinics.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I wanted to bring that up because I hadn't heard that, and I thought that was kind of important there. Now, Bobby, you're the one that coordinates and sets up the WOW van for us. How do you determine where it goes? How's that working out?
Well, we try to schedule the WOW van in high traffic areas or events that are happening so that we can reach more people. Excuse me, more people. If there's any business listening out there, or somebody that has a club that would be interested in having the WOW van come, they can contact me here at the health department, and we'll be happy to get an event scheduled for you.
So do they need to provide the location? What does it take to be an event sponsor?
Yeah, we just need somewhere that is a high traffic area where there's, a lot of cars driving by or people at the event. We need a space that we can pull the WOW van into. Like I said, it's 40 foot long. It's like a big 40-foot camper. So you got to have space for that camper to pull in, and then 2 or 3 cars of the staff that come need parking places as well. And we'll get a memorandum of understanding signed saying that it's okay for us to park there, and if something happens, we don't hold you responsible, And we won't hold you responsible, you know, of course, if somebody's injured, we're gonna do our best to get them taken care of as quickly as possible. But we do wanna have a MOU in place, so, just call me, we'll work out a scheduled time, and we'll get that MOU in place, and we'll get you on our calendar.
So the MOU takes care of any insurance issues?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. What about electrical hookups? Do you guys need electricity for the WOW van?
As long as it's working properly, it has a generator, and we don't have to have a hookup. In the beginning, there were some issues, and, you know, we had to have a plug-in, and then it went in the shop, and we had to use that trailer from the RHCC.
Okay.
But now it's back on the road, and everything's working.
Okay. We have people come from all over for the WOW van for different things. What seems to be the majority of care that people are asking for when they come out? Mary, can you address that?
I would have to say like either the COVID shot, a lot of people are coming out and getting their boosters, and especially our blood pressure screens. I've had a lot of the elderly and whatnot wanting to get their blood pressure checked because they either have high blood pressure, they're on medications, and they want to make sure that it's doing okay.
Now, are the services free?
Some of the services are free.
Okay.
The COVID shot actually is a free service, but we just recently started taking insurance for that. However, if insurance doesn't pay or you don't have insurance, you can still receive your COVID vaccine.
Okay, so they just need to get, again, with you or with Bobby or whomever's there.
Yeah.
And when they come to the WOW van, we've got a sign there that says these are the services that are free.
Right.
Such as fit kits, COVID shots, the medication disposal packets, those.
Yeah.
But the tests and other things, those are ones. And we do accept most insurances. So it's usually pretty easy to get what you need.
Right.
So, okay. All right, great. Now, Bobby, can anybody be an event sponsor? I mean, we talked about that a little bit. But, I mean, are there any places in particular that you're looking to go to set up for the WOW van?
Anybody can be a sponsor of the WOW van. If there's a church that would like us to come, we can do that. Wednesdays are our main days, and we like to hit these festivals and things that are in the evenings and on the weekends. And sometimes it's kind of hard for scheduling purposes because our nursing staff is so short, and Mary is our main nurse for the WOW van, and, you know, she likes her weekends too. But we can do, you know, weekend events and possibly get, you know, somebody else rotated in so Mary can have a break. But we try to just get out there to any place that wants to have us.
Okay. And we rely on those folks too to help us get that information out.
Yes.
We provide them with the materials they need, the posters, the things and so on. And we just ask that they please share those
Yes.
and get those out. So that's something there too. Is there anything else we want to talk about today with the WOW van?
Let's talk about Narcan a little bit.
Okay, great. Yeah, let's go ahead and look at that.
All right. Mary touched on it a little bit. You know, I just wanted to share a couple of statistics. In 2020, opioid deaths among Illinois residents increased 32.7% from 2,219 deaths in 2019 to 2,944 deaths in 2020. So, you know, and that's going back a couple of years. I don't have any more recent, but you can see that opioid deaths are increasing. And so the state wanted to get Narcan out into our communities throughout the state so that we can help people that are on opioids, or that, you know, a family member, like Mary said, a child could get into, are aware that Narcan is something that you can have on hand, you know, just in case of an emergency.
And that's really the main reason we have the WOW van right now.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. When we got the grant, the main focus was Narcan. Now we've rewritten, you know, for the 2023 fiscal year, and we've added other things, but Narcan is still a big part of the WOW van. We're really wanting people to do this training. It's a short video to watch, and then we do a quiz with you. It's not a pass or fail. We just want you to do that quiz so you kind of can
Just know that you have an
Yeah,
understanding
yeah.
of.
You've watched that video and you've
yeah.
got it, and you take that quiz home with you, so you've got the right answers there. If you ever wanna refresh your memory,
Yeah.
we give you a folder with some information, and,
Want you
a
to be
box.
able to recognize the signs of an
Right.
overdose and
Right.
be able to know how to use the Narcan spray.
Exactly, exactly. And then send a box of it home with you. There's two Narcan.
2 Narcans per
nasal sprays
box.
per box.
Now, do you have to be of a certain age to do the training? Or is there like an age starting point on that?
You know, that, we haven't seen anything, but we don't wanna do anybody under high school age.
Yeah.
You know, we
So
kinda, 13, 14 on it, because they have an understanding, and they're taking health in high school, and, you know, you get to a grade school or junior high level, the maturity isn't there, and they may just try to play with it, which there, you know, there's really no bad, what's the word?
It's like no adverse
Adverse
reactions.
reactions.
Like, yeah, that can happen if they were to play around with it or use it for fun or whatnot.
But we
There's
just
there's
wanna-
nothing that could happen to
Yeah.
them.
Oh, okay, good point. And also giving it to somebody who might not have had an overdose,
Right,
maybe they have a
right.
heart attack or something, it's not gonna
It won't affect them.
cause, okay.
No.
Yeah. So
Um,
it's a safe drug, but we don't wanna just put it in the hands of people that are just gonna play with it. You know, we want it in the hands of people that understand what it's for and will use it for that purpose.
Now, talking about the Narcan, continuing on that subject, we do get a lot of people that come on the WOW van wanting to do Narcan training. Do you kind of have a sense of why they're wanting to do it? Are you seeing that they're doing it because a family member is taking medication? What are some of the reasons, or what's the
I've
majority of
heard a
reasons?
lot from a lot of different people that they've had a family member that has overdosed. There's been a few that have said that they have overdosed themselves before, but a lot of times it's the family. They have a family member that has overdosed before, and some people shy away from the Narcan training when they come, but I think there's just such a stigma around it as far as having the Narcan, because there's a lot of people who think, we have the Narcan, so that just gives an excuse for people to overdose and not have any consequences from that. But like I said, children can overdose, even just getting into your medicine cabinet and taking prescription drugs. And parents not knowing, and if you have that Narcan available, you can even give it to your child until EMS arrives.
Well, the majority of overdose cases, whether you're taking a medication after a surgery or whatever the case may be, happen at home. The majority of them do.
Even after a surgery, if you're on prescription medications, prescription opioids for pain management, there have been people who have overdosed just not because they're addicted to drugs, but because they're taking that pain medication. They may not remember that they've taken the pain medication and take it again and have overdose. So it helps a lot of people. I really want to get away from that stigma of it's just for one group of people.
Right, exactly. I mean, this needs to be in your first aid kit, just like Band-Aids.
I agree.
And because any of us could have a medical emergency, like Mary said, where we have to be on a medication. And if you're not used to being on those, even one or two of those pills can affect you.
Yes.
And you not realize what's going on. So, yeah, it needs to be something. Now, if they're not able to get to the WOW van to get the Narcan, can they just pick that up at the clinic? What can they do?
Well, we can do a training for anybody, anytime at Olin. I don't know if they have do you have a supply at the clinics? I don't think you do.
I don't think we do, no.
But if you come to Olin, come to the administrative office or the clinic in Olin and say, hey, I want to have that Narcan training, there are several people in this area in Olin that are trained to do the training, and we'd be happy to do a one-on-one
And
training.
you've
with
even
you.
set up trainings with
I've
workplaces
gone
and
to
whatnot.
2 or 3 different organizations, safety meetings, or just a group of employees and done trainings. So, if your office wants somebody to come and do a training for your employees, we'd be happy to do that.
And it doesn't take, 15 minutes?
15 minutes.
Very short?
Very short.
Okay, great. Anything else about the WOW van we missed, or you want to go back and talk about some more? Anything at all?
I think we covered
I think
everything.
we've covered it, yeah.
Okay, well, great. Well, we do want to remind people that they can find the events on the WOW van. They can download the Southern 7 app and get connected to our
Right.
Facebook page that way, or they can go to Facebook and on our Facebook page and check that out. Or they can give us a call here at Southern 7 at 618-634-2297, and we'll make sure that you get the schedule closest to you. So, but ladies, thank you so much for coming and talking with me today. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Well, thanks for
And
having us.
I know I'm having fun on the WOW van. We probably have more fun than we should sometimes, but I'm really enjoying it, and it's great to see the community and how they're responding to it. I think, you know, we don't have to say wellness on wheels as much. We can say
Yeah.
WOW van.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. So it's actually, it's really gotten out there. But one last question, and I meant to stop, and then, Bobby, do you know how long we're gonna have the WOW van? I know you said that we got renewed.
Yep, I know that we have it for one more year, and I believe, possibly a second, so
Okay.
2 more years.
So it's gonna be out with us for a while.
Yes.
Okay, all right, well, now I'll stop. I just wanted to get that out there. All right, well, ladies, thanks again, we appreciate it, and have a great day. We'll see you out and about.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.